The doors at Kendall House are locked. It specialises in dealing with very disturbed girls aged from 10 to 16. Some of them are there for several years.
On the whole, they've moved around quite a bit, and they tend to come here because either they're very aggressive or they appear very depressed and are needing specialist help that way. They don't fit in the normal children's homes because they present a great deal of problems. Special schools find them extremely difficult to handle.
Everything's all very quiet this morning.
The standard of childcare at Kendall House is high. The staff include nurses, teachers and social workers, all trained to cope with particularly disruptive children.
What sorts of incidents are you dealing with? What sorts of behaviour?
Well, general difficult behaviour. As I say, we get a lot of manipulation because children have learnt to manipulate a situation. So we get all the normal acting out behaviour of children in school, tipping up desks, throwing their books on the floor, running from the classroom, that sort of thing. They also learnt, you know, to swear and carry on at staff. And so, again, they try that on. So you get the sort of general difficult behaviour which your just has got to help them face up to, that they can't live like this. But we also get children who are extremely aggressive, who go into sort of frenzied aggression and don't know really what they're doing.
The concern about Kendall House is over the type of medical treatment sometimes prescribed by the home's consultant psychiatrist, Dr. Perin Panayagam.
What about you? You've been with us for 3 months.
Yeah.
And what was the feelings you had when you first came in here?
I was frightened at first.
Yes.
But then after quite a while I got settled in.
You settled in. And do you think you have improved?
Yeah.
In what?
Of the 12 girls in Kendall House at the moment, 4 are being given drugs. This girl, who's been at the home for over 5 years, was abandoned by her mother, who simply returned to Nigeria without her. The girl is severely emotionally disturbed, and she suffers from epilepsy, for which she also has to be treated. According to Miss Law, she's built up such a tolerance to drugs that on the day we filmed, she'd been given enough to knock an adult on his back.
In spite of being on the medication you're having, you find you can concentrate at school?
Yeah, it's not...
And you can take part in the sports activities and trampolining?
Yeah, except for now I get a bit sleepy in the afternoons.
I see. Yes. We deal here with severely disturbed children, manifesting aggressive behavior, absconding, having stolen things from shops, and suicidally depressed children. And these are children who have not had a happy emotional background and hence are emotionally deprived. And hence, the behavior they exhibit are antisocial behavior patterns, and having been let down by their parents, they come in a scarred personality-wise way and trying to establish relationships with adults whom they could eventually trust.
Would you describe them as being mentally ill?
I would prefer to use the word emotionally ill, and by that I mean displaying serious depression, anxiousness with tension, and irritability. And these are the common patterns.
For some of them, though not all, there is some medication.
For a few of them, especially those children who show serious depressive pictures, because when they are seriously depressed, they find it very difficult to concentrate and benefit from psychotherapy. Apart from psychotherapy, they find it very difficult to concentrate in school. Hence, the importance of helping the depression.
And what sorts of medication are we talking about here then?
The very safe medications, they are called tricyclic antidepressants, and tryptizol is one of them. And they usually have this in the evening before they go to sleep, because then they don't have side effects the next day. And they get this medication for anything from 3 to 6 months, after which it is weaned off.
Our inquiries have shown that some children who've been treated by Dr. Prem Panayagam were on drugs over a much longer period. Pamela Butcher spent 3 years in Kendall House. She was still on drugs when she left. And she says that she and the other girls who were under medication as well did suffer serious side effects.
Some of them had the same problem as me of always being tired. Some of them had other problems with their eyes. I did at one stage have that problem myself, where they thought I needed glasses. They had my eyes tested, and the optician eventually said it was the drugs that I was being given at the home was affecting my eyes. Some of them used to make me really tired, permanently tired. However I seemed to go to bed at night, I seemed to still be tired in the morning, and I'd sleep in the day. And on one particular sort, that I don't remember what they were called, I was asleep nearly all the time on them.
Are you able to give any indication of how successful your work here has been?
Well, we have had instances of children who have been here who have come back to us and visited and holding jobs, living independently, a thing which they could never have done had they not had the 3 or 4 years at Kendall House.
The case of another girl who was in Kendall House at the same time as Pamela is now causing more widespread concern. The girl, called Yvonne, was taken into care by the London Borough of Brent when she was only 10 years old.
What sort of girl was Yvonne?
She was quite small, of mixed parentage, very intelligent, and I suppose she could be described as hyperactive. She posed quite a lot of problems for staff because of her unwillingness at times to cooperate with us.
What was her background? Why was she taken into care?
I think that she initially came into care because her mother had other children, younger children, and she found the demands which Yvonne made upon her much too much to cope with. And I think she came to the social services and asked for help. She had several periods with us in the assessment centre. A number of placements were tried, ranging from children's homes. She was found to be too difficult for children's homes. At some stage she was sent to a school for girls, and there they found that they couldn't contain her. She was often running away, committing minor offences.
Then, in October 1975, Yvonne was sent to Kendall House.
Oh yes, Yvonne came to us from a very seriously deprived background and lacking any proper parental standards to mould her life by. Hence, she displayed very serious, aggressive, homicidal behavior, which became apparent from time to time here in Kendall House, and we had to use a preparation to help her to overcome the aggression.
Which would be what?
In her case, it was Modicate, and this certainly effectively helped her over this period, and she was able to relate to the others and learn better.
In that particular case, then, you were having to use Modicate to control her behaviour.
I would say to control her serious homicidal behavior.
As I understand it, she had spoken later to social workers and said that if she misbehaved, then at that time she would be given injections or tranquilizers of some form.
I wouldn't agree with that. I don't think just for misbehaving she was given an injection, far from it. If she had hurt somebody seriously and she had displayed antisocial behavior by destruction and smashing up, that sort of thing, then, having tried to advise her to calm down, if she continued to exhibit that behavior, that was when an injection would be given.